I'm Full Paragon, and this is Recommended Recruits for the Kenpo banners Part 1A and 1B. The Kenpo banners are both permanent banners. As soon as they are released, their units will be in the premium pool. There are two banners, the first of which features Lia and Melissa, and the second which features Erika alongside a 3-star Cecily. Lia and Melissa will both be lightning units, while Erika and Cecily are both wind units. We already had Erika's event some time back, and we got a free welfare wind Mitsurugi for that. Lia and Mel's event should be running right now, and it features a welfare darkness. First and most important is Kenpo Lia. Kenpo Lia's first skill has a tier 2 physical attack buff and deals AoE damage, while her skill 2 is an HP conditional single target that hits quite hard. Her ultimate is still very strong, featuring a tier 2 agility buff and a tier 2 damage cut. Kenpo Lia should at long last make a physical team competitive, specifically lightning physical. However, she really needs her trials to be able to do this, as Lia gets a large amount of physical attack from her trials to make up for poor affinity gains, and she also gets the only weapon that will really work well on her, which is her personal weapon. This is due to the fact that the meta queen, Christmas Wiz, is not very good in lightning, and Swimsuit Wiz just isn't quite as good. There also just aren't very many lightning mages. So, Kenpo Lia should be able to bring the fairly strong roster that we have of lightning adventurers up to a competitive level. This will be an alternative to mages. I don't think they will be to the point where they're better, just to the point where they're competitive and can be something else to try. I will say the team is very expensive. You will need to fully trial both Lia and Mitsurugi, and with those two you will still need backup from other powerful lightning choices like Snowcris to be able to have the physical team keep up with mages. Even with those caveats, I feel comfortable saying that Kenpo Lia will go into the A tier. The second adventurer on the Kenpo 1A banner is Melissa. Her first skill inflicts bind, and her second skill is an affliction punisher skill. This is completely terrible. It is extremely difficult to keep affliction up on bosses. In the cases where they aren't totally immune, most of the time your skill will fail to take hold and the affliction punisher won't activate. Her welfare version, which was given out for free, of Lightning Melissa is much better, and you should just use that instead. She does make a good sub as she has a physical up trait, but that really isn't a compelling reason to pull for her. I will be placing Kenpo Melissa all the way down in C tier. Gentlemen, we found her. Kenpo Erika is here at last, or at least she will be after a few days. She has a pretty good kit. Her skill 1 is an AoE with a tier 2 agility up, and her skill 2 is a single target HP conditional. She has a very solid kit, especially since Erika continues to have a tier 3 physical attack up on her ult. The problem is she doesn't really have anyone who can back her up in wind. Thief Chris has really not kept up with the meta, and there aren't any other compelling options. Because of this, and the fact that Rin absolutely rules the wind meta, I don't think that Kenpo Erika is going to see any use whatsoever, especially not at her release. At some point, she could be used alongside Eyes, however, Eyes is largely just a better version of her, so there isn't a real reason to run Kenpo Erika even then. For now, she'll be off meta. She's likely to remain that. She's going into B tier. Erika's bannermate is Kenpo Cecily. Her skill 1 is a single target with a chance to haze, and her skill 2 has a heal with a tier 2 magic defense buff attached to it. She is still Cecily, which means she's quite bad. Don't bother with her. She can't even hold the candle to Cafe Cecily, who isn't even on meta anymore. The welfare is darkness. It's still darkness. She's free, but don't bother with those skill ups. Someday, La Latina, you'll be good, but not today. D tier for darkness is useless. Final verdict here is a maybe on Lia, but on Erika's banner, it's a definite no. These are permanent banners, so if you're free to play, I would recommend you skip them. For the most part, if you don't have Swimsuit Wiz and you at least spend a little bit of money, I could see going for Lia, as without her and without Swimsuit Wiz, it's going to be really hard to build a viable lightning team. So it could be worth grabbing her. Erika's banner though is totally worthless, and Mel is incredibly bad. Keep in mind we will be getting another banner, Ballroom, relatively soon. It's another good physical banner with the best iris we've seen to date. Danmachi is also probably about 6 weeks out, so I'd be ready for that. Save your quartz if you're not sure. As well, Kenpo Lia is pretty good. She's not going to be absolutely meta-defining. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Tune back in soon for more video guides for Konosuba Fantastic Days.